live. Hello, everyone.
Talking to us, are you mates?
How is the mad cartographer doing?
Doing all right?
I like that blood mine map you uploaded.
Good. Made it for you.
I'm never going to sign up and download it.
I mean...
No, I need to, because I want to use that Frost Temple.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Dude. And my rock nest when I remake a snowy version of it.
Well, when? We'll see. I don't like how you draw eggs. Not how I draw them.
You don't like how... You like how I draw the shape of an egg, just not necessarily where I position them within a nest.
So, Cora, remind me what happened last week.
I got repeatedly hit by rocks by a tree that was also a house. And there was a flying witch for a while, and Halvor tried to bring her down repeatedly, but he was massive. He was like a giant human person.
Nice.
Poe was doing some stuff. He was in a house most of the time and not able to move, so he wasn't really doing stuff. He was just repeatedly missing out on goes, wasn't he?
Yeah, so much so that he hasn't even joined fucking Foundry.
Ugh.
For the session.
And yeah, I died and then came back to life, and Ez died and came back to life, and Jenny turned into some form of ape type thing briefly, and then the witch is dead. The end.
Can we remember what the witch's name was? Because she's been a bit of an emotional focus of the campaign for a little while, a recurring presence this last 18 months.
Babe Lasagna.
Phew.
Exactly.
Just checking. I was worried for a second there, but you were saying the witch a lot and not her name.
But I find that she's specifically a witch rather than vampire, which is the way I think of her, rather than necessarily
vampire witches. You've been reading my notes. That comes later.
So now I get to explore inside the house, hopefully, and see what's going on with this other woman.
You've missed a very important detail out. What did Bartandalus find, and what the fuck did he do with it?
He put a baby in a bag. Baby in a bag.
Baby in a bag.
Are you joining Bartandalus? Is it hanging? Are you just sketching maps still?
Yeah.
Get into the campaign.
I am in, but it's not loaded up. I've just got a grey screen, apparently.
Okay.
I loaded up as soon as I came in.
I've activated Swamp Cottage. It should be loading for you now.
1 minute. I'm re-logging in. Loading Swamp Cottage. There we go. Swamp Cottage.
Excellent. So, we picked up where we left off, which was everyone pretty much licking their wounds, and Bartandalus had staggered back over to Caspin and had collapsed back down next to him to reassure him that the day was won.
I gave him a big hug.
You did. Cora, can't even see Cora. Yeah, Cora, very, very badly wounded. Just pretty much dragged back to life with a potion to the lips from Jenny. Halvor, doing alright, given you've just fallen 80 foot through a tree and hit the ground heavily. Ez, looking very rough. Sir Arthand, looking rough. Cryal, nowhere to be seen, haven't had the house pretty much fall on him multiple times into the swamp water. The hut collapsed on its roots, and Lysaga skewered through a tree.
Was Cryal dead then? Or do we not know?
Since he was knocked to the floor and then had an entire root smashed down on him, you haven't seen him since.
Did he not get up when I healed in that area?
He did not.
Oh. I totally, because you removed the token, so I totally forgot he was even there.
But you couldn't see him. He was driven. His body was driven down into the water by the crashing of a tree falling on it. Again and again. Once after he was already out.
Let's just skip the formalities. We're not going to find him.
I mean, we've still got water walk for probably another half an hour, so we couldn't even get under the water anyway. He's just there now.
So what do we all wish to do?
Lie on a floor in a puddle of my own blood.
That can be arranged.
Moment, Halvor, despite being relatively okay, is just kind of catching his breath from the acrobatic display that was put on.
Cora's initial impulse is that she probably wants to go and investigate inside the house and see whether or not our friend that was in there, that we think might be Laura, is in there and okay, and what's going on with her.
Okay, yeah, looking around, you see Bartandalis. Oh yeah, why have you been resized? That's weird. You see Bartandalis sort of slumped on the floor over near the boy. You see over near Halvor that, despite the fall, that large dragon skull just very, very slowly rotating on the spot, hovering above the floor. I mean, it looks like it might take like an hour to even do a loop. You're just very aware there's a slight movement to it as it just sort of rests inches above the floor.
Well, at least that should be easy for us to take back with us.
Halvor's going to at least start seeing if he can peer into the murk and see any trace of Cryo.
Make me a... Oh, that's interesting. I think that's an update to whatever that module you gave me for drag draw distance. Don't know if you've noticed it yet, Halvor. When you drag a line for movement, it highlights in one colour your movement, green what I presume is your dash, and then after that, what is too far for you.
It does. It is a cool addition.
I like that very much. Sir Arthand strides over to Bartandalis.
I'm looking over what is left of the syrupy mess of baby lasagna. Are there any... Is there any like clothing remains or anything, or is she just soup?
She is... It's still a body, but it is just...
Oh, it went into maggoty.
Yeah,
goodness.
It's just open wounds that don't look like they were inflicted during the fight. There's just holes and gaps to her and just filth, and masses of insects and other stuff has just poured out and now just feebly writhes around on the floor.
Then, as Sir Artund comes over, does it look like he's looking to say something to me?
He walks over and plants his sword into the sort of muck in front of them and sort of looks over to you and... Is the boy well? Does he yet live?
He does. He's as well as could be expected. Weak, but he's probably doing better than any of us here by the look of him.
That is good. And
Thank you
what
for
of
your-
this woman?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take a look over her. Do you wanna stand by Caspin, make sure he's okay?
Yes, I shall do just that.
I'd heard
Husband's going to
from.
piss himself.
The
Don't met him.
battle,
Skeleton!
battle
Oh, no,
was
he's not.
well fought.
Oh yeah, he's not met him yet.
You did us a great service here today. You fulfilled your oath, Sir Arton.
Hmm. Very good.
And
Very
then
good.
disappears. Fuck.
And he
If
strides
you're planning on
over
dismissing,
to the
sorry.
boy.
As Sir Arton's walking over, I take out a copper wire and I send a message to Caspian saying,
A friend's coming over. He might look like he's gonna hurt you, but he came here specifically to help you.
We're not planning on dismissing Sir Atten just yet, are we? Because he could take the dragon skull back with him.
I mean, we can fly the dragon skull back. I won't worry about that.
Yeah, but then we've got to go all the way back. He can just take it.
A cautious, weary sort of, very well, I trust you. Comes from Caspian.
Cool. And then, whilst everybody's searching their own individual things, I'm going to search Lysaga, and you tell us what's happening, DM.
Yeah. So you make an investigation check. In fact, no. She's wearing what is near enough, just like a little shift, the most thin of garments. You see no pouches, no pockets. She's just her and her nightie. Meanwhile, Halvor going combing through the swamp water as best as you can. No sign of Krael.
He's just going to pace back and forth a bit because it kind of feels like he owes him that much since he's saved us in some sticky situations. So he's just going to wander around, not hopefully, but just on the off chance he finds something.
Okay.
Cora would like to look in the wreckage of the house and see whether or not Laura's still there or what's the sitch with her.
Okay then. Your
You see-
size is obviously off, Cora.
I'm a teeny tiny person.
But yeah.
So, did you say Lysaga's just not got anything?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Just a nightie, unless you really want that. Well, that would be weird.
Depends how magic is.
So going in to this hut, there is no longer a baby in there because bartenders took the baby. There's also no book on the desk to the south of you as well. But other than that, yes, you see the hut as laid out here.
So I didn't realise that she was all mummified up and...
She's not.
She's not.
okay.
There's not really a specific token for pale grey antlered woman with meat hooks in back floating around anywhere.
You'd think that would be something that D&D had created.
Yeah.
Cartographer, get on it. Well, I'm going to go and have a look at the meat hook lady. I don't yet know that she's still alive because...
It is immediately apparent that she is alive because having been healed up a bit by Bartandalus, she is moving and struggling a bit against her chains, and as she does, you just see rivulets of blood going down her sides and dripping into the bath, and she just twists and sort of struggles. Your wooden hand, just throbs for a moment as you see her struggling.
So I look to her and say, I'm Cora, I'm here to help. And with that, I try my best to help her down off all of these horrible spikes and start de-spiking her, I suppose.
even from here as well, just in case you got, I did mention it to Bartandalis, but it was a week ago and in the midst of combat, she is quite a bit bigger than you. She may possibly even be taller than Halvor, not in his current state.
Amazonian lady.
This is a very Amazonian woman.
Which is very much how Babala Saga was described at first when we saw her.
What?
Yeah. She said
Oh,
she was
yeah.
Does she look the same as her or no?
No. Although quite fucked up looking and not clothed, she basically looks like this.
Cool.
And from here, you can see...
I'm
Go
not
on,
going
what-
to jump on her, Bartandalis.
got
My
a-
God.
Lady boner.
I'm trying to help her.
From the angle you're at as well, it would be obvious and bizarre to you that those antlers are not a headdress. You see the antlers actually coming out from under her hair.
I try not to stare at the antlers or all of the scars as I'm assisting her. Is she helping herself down as well, or is she like barely
She's
conscious?
her hands are bound behind her back. You can get very little assistance from this individual.
Do I need to roll anything to see if I'm going to be able to do this alone, or
If you're trying to do it alone, I would say that would be athletics with disadvantage.
Don't kill her, Cora.
might I kill her? Why might I kill her? I'm just trying
You
to
might
help.
rip her
Nat
back
one.
out.
Yeah.
Of the meat hooks.
The hook comes through the front.
I mean, I have got a -1 on my athletics, so
Let's see how it goes. Can Norris do a swoop?
Oh, that's not bad.
that's all right. Yeah, Norris can help me. Come on, Norris.
You're very much struggling. There's an element of having to lift her up a bit so that you can start to work the first hook out, and it's proven very difficult. But you suddenly feel a hand sort of gently move you to the side a bit, and then you notice Yenny is now next to you. And
She just walked off. Sorry, I wanted to grab her before she walked away. That's why I started moving over to her, but I didn't want to interrupt what you were doing in there.
All right, she would have been heading in here as well. You can catch her in a second. As she sort of reaches underneath and lifts up, and you sort of see the body lift up a surprising bit for an old woman, and she just nods at you to carry on working the hooks, and you manage to get the first of the hooks out.
How many skill checks am I going to have to do here?
There's only a couple more. If you're continuing to work away, you manage to, over the course of a few minutes, and the blood is pouring quite rapidly and in a large amount here. You notice at the corner of your eye that although as she's sort of holding her up, Jenny's also just sort of stroking the hair on the side of this woman's face and just sort of quietly shushing her and trying to reassure her. And yeah, a moment later, with the last hook coming loose, the body just, not particularly gracefully, is heavily let down into the mostly drained bathtub of its own blood. And you just see the 3 large wounds in the back.
I would like to see whether or not there's any cleanish looking sheets on the bed or anything that I can use to help to stem the bleeding or dress the wound or anything.
Make me a investigation check. Or if you're just looking for a quick look around, make a perception.
I'm going to go for perception.
Okay. It is very likely that not a single thing in this entire building could ever have been called clean. This is squalid. To put it into context for you, after the lights came back on, the dinner table in Death House looked cleaner than this place.
Even baby's crib.
Even the baby's crib.
Having a quick look in my inventory and see if there's anything in there that I could use. Not really. I've got an empty backpack. Would that do?
Perhaps not.
So, seeing nothing in my inventory, I will say to Yenny, Yenny, do you have anything for these wounds? We need to stop the bleeding.
Oh, I'll give you a shawl.
Yeah, give me
It's
that fucking
made out
shawl
of
back.
squirrels.
Oh, Laurie, you're not looking well. She said, she needs medicine. I need to get her back home more than anything else. I can work on her properly when she's back home.
So we
Okay.
don't know whether or not
Okay.
Yenny actually knows her, do we? Because
No.
so I'm gonna tread a little bit gently here and plead ignorance as well, and just say, Yenny, do you know this lady?
She's my sister. I told you about her.
No.
No.
Oh, she
Madam
bloody
Eva told
did.
us. Madam Eva told us, and she said that Jenny didn't know about it.
Yeah.
No. This
Yeah.
is one of the first things that she's said is about how she comes to Berez.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
Me neither.
And that's why she comes to Berez?
Well, we were always told that she was coming getting herbs and stuff. I don't think you
Yeah,
have
you've known
told
it
us
for
that
5 minutes. I definitely have, but she's now repeated it for you. And you see her hand sort of going over the back, checking out the back, and she reaches into in the corner, one of the pockets of her robe, and just pulls out a plant that she starts to just rub between her hands, and then just apply like the resulting smush across what wounds she can.
I think getting her out of here is definitely a good idea. What's the quickest way to do that?
I can get her back to my house if I just get her back to the tree.
The tree?
The tree I popped out before.
Oh,
If I get over to that, I can take her back home.
had not realised you actually popped out of a tree. I was squished under a rock at the time, so okay. In that case, I will assist Yenny if she's trying to carry her over to a tree.
Yeah, definitely.
And on the way, I might also ask if there's any way that we can use the tree to get back as well, so we don't have to go through the swamp.
I will check, but I'm fairly certain it has a number limit. Let me have a look. Yep, looks like it.
Well, we can use it.
It would seem so,
Amazing!
with her permission. Between the two of you, yeah, you managed to get one of Laura's arms over each shoulder, and you are able to slowly. You're not really getting much out of her feet at all. It's difficult because her feet are trailing. She's not holding her own weight, but she's also so much taller than you, and a huge amount more even taller than sort of the stooped over form of Jenny.
Well, canonically, Cora's like 5'2", so she's fucking tiny.
But I've
Yeah.
got the strength of 10 men.
Little Miss, I can't climb.
I can now.
You are
Plus,
managing.
She walks on the water, so whilst Laura's walking in the water, she's actually at a decent height.
She's dredging for Cryal.
Well, that's what I was actually going to ask Jenny to do.
Yenny, do you have time for us to do a quick search of the cabin before we need to take her back?
Yeah, go on if you need to. And she sort of at the door sort of calls out to everybody else. We're in here.
So, what the hell is the green thing on the floor?
Green chain.
There is a large crack between the floorboards, out of which a green light is eerily spilling out.
Oh, I'm going nowhere near that.
Touch it, I dare you.
No way. I will have a little poke around the rest of the place though and see if I can find anything that looks like it's of interest or valuable.
I'm not sure I could physically fit inside the cottage.
That's a good point. Yeah, you probably can't at the moment. You're probably the size of most of this place. I will
But you can
remove
pick
you.
Laura up between your thumb and
Well,
forefinger
yeah.
like a little insect.
Are you also heading in, Bartender? I have to drag you in because of the walls.
Sure.
If Jenny's on her way out with Laura, then I'll assist with that because I'm much bigger and stronger than her. And I'll also say to Yenny, Yenny, go into my backpack. I've got a healer's kit. It's not much, but it's better than leaving these open wounds for the travel.
And she will do that in a moment. Oh, one thing that it was just been a nightmare for me to do with the token, but not that I'm thinking it matters now, but the cages were attached to the tree, to the hut. So when it got up and started moving around, most of the cages followed with it. There's not just a pile of cages left on a little earthy island in the middle. Okay. Exception being the one that fell over, which it then subsequently flung at Cora for a hilarious Beano-style thwonk to the head. It's hilarious for me.
As I walk in and see the crib, I'm kind of mindful of how long. I mean, it's not been 10 minutes. I only took it about 2 minutes ago. I'm going to open my bag of holding and think about the child and bring it out.
I see what Barty's doing. I'm like, you put that thing in there?
Well, the fact that you call it a thing gets you to have as much interest in its safety as I do.
I mean,
And then
it's her offspring.
I hold it up to her and show that it's like some Frankenstein baby.
Oh, God.
And then I will turn the child over. Is it still crying, or is it like kind of silenced out or dead?
Does that answer your question?
Half a cry.
If you tried to play it, it only played. It went.
Oh. Yeah, the baby is smug and amused. Yeah, it should have been looping that. I'm not sure why it didn't. Oh, it might be because you haven't moved near it.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go. Yep. And you see Bartandalus holding up Cora. This looks like a baby that has been stitched together. Its features aren't grotesque. It does look like a matching eye colour. It isn't horribly disfigured. It just has noticeable thin line scarring, very, very slightly different skin tones between some parts. It is a Franken baby, I suppose.
And I'm gonna start bouncing a little bit, trying to calm it down a little bit, and I'm gonna start.
Shh. Hey now, come on now. Shh.
Aren't you worried it could be dangerous, Barty?
I'd be more worried if it wasn't, and I treated it like it was. Me putting it in the bag of holding was more necessity because I didn't know, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to treat it like a baby now.
Persuasion doesn't seem appropriate. I'm putting this purely down to the lack of ability to effectively communicate with it. Make me an animal handling check with advantage.
Oh, with the baby?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Animal handling.
Oh, no.
Well, what about performance? If I try to kind of entertain it.
Same modifier for you. Well, same mod for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be at my base instinct. With advantage, though, yeah?
Yeah. The baby is very quickly
Hey.
placated and drifts off. Cora, you see in a matter of seconds in Bot Handlerless's arms.
Wow, looks like you've got a magic touch with that thing.
Well, he is a priest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this kid is just filthy. It's in filthy rags and everything, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation and just clean it up.
Okay. Yeah. Very quickly, garments weren't damaged. They were just grimy. A slight bit of dirt on the baby, but it is instantly back to looking like a freshly bathed cherubic stitched nightmare.
Okay, I'm going to, because I do still have in my bag of holding, well, actually, I don't even think I've got it in my bag of holding. I do have my original hold all. I think it's currently got the gelatinous ooze in it in the jar. So I'm going to push that to one side and kind of like carry the baby. I'm going to put it in there like in a bit of a poos
Yeah.
pouch.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of like bundle it up so I'm going to have it like strapped on my front so I can kind of see it.
Yeah. That's fine. He goes in there and is still very, very soothed and comfy from your care and is snoring soundly.
Cool.
As
What's
the
your plan with
ooze-
this thing?
As the
Are we going to take it
ooze
back?
consumes.
Cora, I ain't got a plan. I literally found it like a few minutes ago, but I'm not gonna leave a baby in the middle of a swamp.
Yenny's offered us a way to get back, so we've got to make a decision soon. Are we taking her with us?
Helen, and I saw Yenny come out of the tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. How long until the tree disappears?
I'm not sure, but I think it's more the fact that Laura's not doing so great. She wants to get her back to the house to try and heal her.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw this woman have her throat slit, and she didn't die. I don't think she's gonna be going anywhere anytime soon.
But and I look over her, and I will cast Cure Wounds at a 4th level. And that's my last 4th level.
But just to try and tide her over so she's can at least hopefully help herself walk a little more.
And I put my hand to my amulet and kind of touch, gingerly, kind of like hold my hand up to the Amazonian woman who I've previously healed, and I kind of like approach her. I hold my hand out, and it's kind of like glowing like a faint warm light. I wanted to see if she will allow me to kind of place my hand on her to cure wounds.
She doesn't even register you. She's arguably conscious.
Cool. Then I will. Do you even want me? Are you bothered about me rolling the hit points, or shall I just?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cure wounds.
Just pop the spell slot off.
What's that?
Okay. Yeah, and you see the wounds mostly close over. Still a slight sort of trickle. And you see as they sort of push over and close, obviously the movement pushes a slight bit more blood out of one of them as a bit of a spurt. And she sort of winces a bit, but you see they are visibly more healed over. Their head still just lolls forward onto Yenny's shoulder.
Nah, I look at Yenny and say, how long till your tree disappears? And I'm presuming we need to travel with you. Couldn't use it on our own.
I'd need to be last through. No rush on it, but you'd have to be going quick when the time comes. So yeah, I can hang off. I can hang off a little bit longer. It goes all the way. It only goes one place, so it goes straight back to Valeki.
All right. We might need to make some preparations. We're gonna go to your hut, so no one's gonna see us coming out with. All right.
And I look over to the green glow, which I'd seen before when I first came in. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't trust anything in this place. I think it would be prudent for me to take my usual 10 minutes before I start rooting around. Now, I know that we feel time is of the essence, but ain't none of us gonna be coming back here.
I'll give you a clue. That green glow is probably magic, that.
Yeah, I'd sooner try and find out what kind of magic it is before I start handling it, though.
Or just
Babala
don't
Saga's
know.
rave glow stick.
That's the
I mean-
baby's nightlight from hell.
A wand of the cream fields.
It'll allow me to do a pass around the swamp, see if we can find anything else.
Did Cryhell have like magic items on him?
Don't know. Never asked.
Yes.
He'd have shrugged at you anyway.
See, he had his little pyramid thing, but I think that might have just been more like his focus. I imagine.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
just a material component of tongues.
Oh.
You don't remember that from the the Temple of the Seven Serpents in Somnanthea? What kind of player are you?
I mean, to be fair, I have also used tongues once this campaign,
You have.
but
No,
I
it's comprehend languages, wasn't it?
No, I have tongues as well, but to speak.
Oh,
to
yeah.
things, but I don't need the material components.
Look, if everybody's happy for me to take 10 minutes to have a look around, then I'll do that. Let everybody get a second wind, get a breath. I know we all want to be out of here as soon as possible, but I don't want to leave any clues or anything of important behind.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand.
All right. I'm gonna start doing this thing. If you want to have a look around,
Is that chest actually there?
Mm-hmm.
And I nod at the chest.
you got your tools, Cora.
I don't think I actually had any last time I looked, did I?
No, you can't. This question keeps coming up. You keep asking. You have proficiency, but you don't have the tools. You're forever borrowing Bartandalus's tools.
Yeah, you lent me them last time.
Okay, I will lend you them. I'll lend you them. Well, no, because we were both opening the cages at the same time, so I weren't sure whether you actually had some. Or were you using my tools?
We were sharing.
Sure.
A
There you go,
lock
Dan, we
pick
were sharing.
each.
So I will hand the thieves' tools to Cora, and I'm going to sit at this table and kind of like got the baby, kind of like bouncing a little bit, and I get on my wizard's book and start reading through it for start casting detect magic.
Okay. So, Cora, what are you doing?
Going for a little snoop around. I'm gonna look with my eyes and not with my hands at first because I'm a bit scared of everything that's in here, that it might be cursed or hurt me in some way. So I'm gonna head over to the table that's directly in front of me now first and have a little look around that and on that.
You can move yourself. You know, you are able to do that. That is a function you have.
Oh, I've done it. Cool.
Did you not think you were able to?
Well, for some reason I was trying to and I couldn't. But now I can. Is there anything exciting on this table?
To save multiple rolls at each item, at each thing, you can do an investigation check to look around everywhere except the chest if you want. The chest's a bit more specific. With that one, you can just see there are open cabinets there, and it just appears to have
SMA baby formula.
yeah, yeah. It just do we still make that brand? I feel like that's all that was the go-to years ago, and now I never see it.
We all know that Lasago thinks saggy breast is best.
Yeah, of course. There just seems to be a variety of despoiled foodstuffs and sort of herbs in there. It all
Is there any
looks very-
incense?
It all looks very mundane and food related.
No incense then.
Well, you still didn't make me the investigation check. So anything interesting?
Is there any incense?
No. Not a block. Where
Well,
next?
he's still alive. Well, seeing as I'm apparently with that investigation check looked everywhere except the chest, probably going to go and look in the chest. Do I need a separate investigation check? Is that coming from the chest, that noise?
That noise is not coming from the chest. From where you're stood, facing the chest, you notice it coming from your right, and it seems to come from a crack in the floor.
Is it radioactive? Is this a radioactive baby?
Baby?
Yeah, because the baby's been created in this room.
Oh? No, there's just a crack from the floor that just has the light trickling through the green plutonium Simpsons type green glow. Now you're going that way. Your
So I'm
Geiger
staying clear.
counter begins to crackle.
That's quite good.
That is good. The
So
Geiger grudge.
No, I've actually got a Geiger counter. And it's going off in my
In
house.
Bolton.
Yeah.
Well, his next
No.
door neighbours are... No.
Oh, no.
I'm going to stick to this side of the chest, away from horrible green, scary glow, and I'm going to see, is there like lock on the chest? Is there a way to open it? Do I need the thieves' tools by
At a
any chance?
glance, it doesn't look... You can't see any obvious locking mechanism to suggest that it is locked.
I'll try and open it then.
Okay. Yeah, you open it, and there are a number of items in there. But before that happens, you are beset by, in a true jump scare moment, a number of severed hands
Oh, no.
leap up out of the chest.
Am I going to die because of Thing from the Addams Family? That's a
And-
shit way to go.
And they are going to strike at you, Cora. Each of
Of
them.
course they are.
Or you're wrecked.
Each of them is going to strike at you. Do we just
Do
leap
I not
out?
need to roll initiative?
Once they've hit you, yeah, you're surprised. The first round as you open it and they
Them.
jump up and attack.
She's dead.
What are you going to do? Flick me? Slap me? Kill me?
She was so bold, so
I
cocky.
know. Why isn't the damage rolling?
Because he doesn't want to damage. Was that enough to kill her? How much damage?
That's
I've
the
got
first
7.
one. Here comes the next one.
How much health have you got, Cora?
8.
Oh no!
Oh, shit. Oh, God, I'm dead.
Are you down?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
And the
It's
last
not actually
one,
applied it.
I've supplied it, and the last one jumps up and attacks
Oh, with advantage.
with advantage.
Oh, oh no!
What a
Hits.
dick.
That's an instant damage roll.
Yep.
Death save.
So what do I do?
I need to apply the damage first. So you are a death save down. You are 1/3 of the way towards death. So Bartandalus, you just see as Cora lifts the chest up. Immediately these hands, funny seeker, these hands just come flying up and start slap, and she's already wounded. One of them just seems to rake its claws across her face, and the other one, in the jumping up and the panic of trying to get away, it almost seems to slam the lid of the chest back down on her, and Cora just falls to the floor on her side, and these hands continue clawing at her as she's on the floor.
I think I should have just gone for the radioactive spider bite that was clearly going to come from the other corner. I could have been like Spider Woman.
Can I act? Or do a roll initiative?
I'm gonna put you all and Ez into initiative. Oh, just better end that combat first. Sorry.
So much regret for not just getting Jenny to take me away. I've rolled, but I don't know if I should have because I'm dead.
Yeah, just so you're in the order. Doesn't really.
You've got to do
matter.
saving throws in order, so.
Yeah. I don't know why it started. There we go. Don't call it round 2, but so that was the surprise round.
Now I'm currently sat in this chair, so I can like spin around in the chair.
Yeah. So top of the round, this hand continues clawing at Cora.
Oh no!
Somehow misses. Esmeralda just sort of seeing this happen. It's like, shit! Buttoners! And she's going to run over with her axe. And just
Not with a health potion or anything decent, no?
bring the... Do you think she had health potions? Do you think she'd been using it in the fight you just had? And she's going to come swinging the axe down on this crawling hand. And just chops it straight in half. Continues over to the next one. And then with her last swing, the third just keeps the axe going. Chop, chop, chop.
Well, thank God somebody's doing
And the
well.
last one, she goes at a few times.
Well, there goes my player agency.
Should have.
I was literally just going to turn around and destroy undead on all 3 of them. Literally never get to use this fucking spell. There's one time.
Claws, despite being CR0, are immune.
Are they?
Mmm.
Oh well, then I'm glad I didn't use it.
Yes,
I might have destroyed the baby.
I was just quickly thinking, shit, let's look at my baby again. Cora, make me a death saving throw.
So at the minute it says 0 ticks and 0 crosses. Do I need to change that?
I don't know how to put that. Oh, I can just type over it actually. So you need to click on the word death saves. If you get a nat 1 now, Cora dies.
Oh, shit. I thought that was a 1.
So
I thought that was a 1.
You are at 2 death saves. Cora is on death's door.
Oh, God.
Bartandalus. He's like, I stab her.
She's been on my tits for ages.
Bartandalus, you're up.
I move over and I'm already hand on my amulet.
I'm looking at the chest.
And kneel down and lay my hand on it and cast Cure Wounds. And bring her back to life.
That could have been one to write about. My players defeated Babalasaka and one of them died to their crawling hands. Yeah, Papa Hiona?
Yeah. The most anticlimactic death, almost death, that just ended up.
What?
Yeah, and then bad by rolls.
Cora,
I don't think I'm destined to leave this place, am I?
Make me a Constitution saving throw, Cora. DC 12. You gain a level of exhaustion as you are wrenched back for a second time from the brink of death. Everything aches, your head swims, and yes, you are exhausted.
Do you remember when I used to roll and it used to always seem like I was always getting great rolls? Now it's just all come back to bite me on the ass.
I think the first level of exhaustion is disadvantage on ability.
No, it's not attacks first and then abilities.
No, level 1, disadvantage on ability checks. There we go, sorry. So yeah, and Cora, you are...
I help her up off the floor.
How do I get unexhausted? A long rest?
Long rest. Removes 1 level exhaustion. So if you get a double exhaustion, that's what happened when Poe was reading through the nights. It took me ages to get to it. Nah. I kind of hold her up and like, you alright?
Yeah, why didn't you have a look in that box?
Well, I mean, I'm happy to do it now.
Oh, thanks. There could still be evil things in it. I'm not touching anything else in this place.
Yeah, maybe should.
And I look at all that. What am I looking at spell-wise? See, I mean, I have to keep hold of my 3rd levels just in the event that somebody died still. I've got Revivify, so we have to be careful.
And I believe the timing of that would have interrupted your detect magic.
Yeah. I mean, but we've all. I don't know how long she was searching for, so.
The time it took to look in that empty cupboard of food
Yeah.
box and walk over, so like a minute.
Yeah. Look, why don't you leave the searching to me?
Yeah,
We'll get some
I
more
might do
sleep.
that.
Try and help Halvor. See if you can find Cryel. If you've got any tools in your bag, then that'd help. But
I've got the tools you just gave me.
Yeah, well, keep them for now.
And I look over at Ez and say, "You want to hang around for a minute?"
I think it's probably for the best.
Cora steps out the house, trips over, and dies.
And I will continue to read the book.
Okay. While that's happening, anything from you outside, Halvor?
I mean, do I hear like yells and stuff?
Yeah, you would have you would have heard. I imagine maybe a giant Halvor looks through, grabs onto the door frame and peeks through. You see Cora getting brought back up, and just Ez hacking away at a few undead-looking hands. One of which tries to sort of feebly drag itself away before it's axed through, and you witness the getting up of Cora. A tiny. Everyone's so small in your giant state.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to, as I can't enter into the building due to my enormous size, my enormous girth, then I'm gonna just go with Jenny to carry. I'll just pick up Laura and carry her to the tree.
Okay. As you get over there, Sir Arthan's sat on the branch, holding his sword across his knees.
Staring at
Caspin, yeah, staring at Caspin. Caspin sort of propped up on his elbows and just looks over and sees the unusual looking pair of women come over, and he gives you a slightly feared nod. He looks a bit assured by the reappearance of someone who looks very normal compared to these three, and who he also knows to be a relative kinsman.
Cool. I just go to Jenny. Should I just place her in the tree? What's best?
Just put her on the floor. I can't put her into you already. I'll have to go through last.
Okay. And I'll gently lay her down with
then,
surprising care.
And Jenny just sort of sits next to her and just strokes her hair.
So is everyone, apart from me and Ez, gathered by the tree?
Did you say you're heading outside, are you, Cora? Sorry.
Yeah, I tried to walk out, but I can't.
Yeah, there's a wall. There you go. Yep, so your spell, after a few minutes, completes, and you are able to detect magic. You detect 3 sources of magic.
Okay.
The whole door containing the baby.
Okay. It's not the use. The use isn't magic. It is the baby that's magic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm looking to list stuff that all the time that you've already got. Your holy symbol. Your your book. The chest pulses with more than one sort of aura of magic,
Mm.
and you sort of blink for a second as a very powerful sense of magic comes from the crack in the floor.
What type of magic are these things?
The baby is enchantment.
Oh.
The chest is difficult to tell. There's sort of more than one different thing, Jocelyn. The crack, I would give that you recognize a potent primeval magic that,
Almost like a gem,
defies
some might think.
that defies the typical classification.
Excellent. Well, first and foremost, I look down at this child with great curiosity. And then I go over and kind of carefully take off the hold all and pass it and offer the child up to Ez. Can you take... Is it a boy or a girl?
Are you looking?
Sure.
It's a boy.
Yeah,
And
Jake.
what a boy! It's a girl, Mr. Simpson. That's the umbilical cord.
No, it's just like a Frankenstein child that's had an adult penis
Oh,
stitched
no,
up to him.
no. Yeah, it is a boy.
I'd say her, can you take... And then curiosity, and I kind of go, him?
Of course, yes. Be careful. And she sort of puts the hold all over her, sort of messenger bag style, and sort of has one hand gently patting that, but has the other hand on, is holding the axe of the other one, sort of having it pointed towards the chest readily.
Cool. And I'm going to, as I kind of like pass him over, and he starts kind of like shuffling a little bit, being away from me. I'm going to use prestidigitation and start kind of doing like, I can use it to cast faint musical notes. So I'm going to do like a little lullaby tune, just kind of like playing around him to keep him calm.
Okay.
First things first. Ooh. I'm going to go straight over here and start pulling up floorboards.
Sort of wrenching floorboards up, you see the underneath of the boards just have these sharp protrusions, but at first almost look like nails, but with a bit of sort of wrenching them back and looking, it almost looks like there are vines and what seem to be teeth in the floorboards, and that this has formed somewhat of a maw. And at the bottom of it, you can see, nestled in the midst of moss and vine and cobweb, about the size of a fist, a large, slowly pulsing gem, green.
There's teeth on the wooden floorboard?
On the underside, yeah, and reaching down through the hole towards this, you see there are what look to be teeth.
Why the hell did I go for the fucking...
Hold on. There's teeth in the hole, basically. Is that what you're saying? So
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
like,
And as you've pulled boards up on the underside and above this crack, this hole, there's teeth on the boards.
I'm going to give them a close look. Are they like sharp teeth or are they thorns?
They are, looking at them, they are actual teeth. They look almost like, sort of shape of them, almost like shark teeth, what we'd know shark teeth to look like.
So I look like I'm looking into like essentially a baby sarlacc.
Pretty much.
Fuck that noise. How far down do I have to reach to get this gem?
About arm's length.
Ez, pass me the baby back. Can you get this? And I'm presuming we've not leveled up properly yet, so I don't have my mage hand.
You have not leveled up properly. Not until you rest.
Okay. Let me see what I've got. I'm I'm going to take I don't know, a rolling pin or just a piece of wood. Actually, the plank. I'll take the plank and I'm going to reach it in towards the gem. I'm going to touch the gem with the plank, making sure that my hand is still kind of like, far enough away.
Yeah. The plank is lowered in. How far are you going down? Are you going to tap the gem?
If the plank is like the length of my arm,
Mm-hmm.
so I can put that in without putting my arm in, then yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
touch the gem with it.
You tap the gem. Nothing happens.
I don't fucking trust you. Okay. I say to Ezra, like,
Look, just look at this. I'm not wrong. This looks like teeth, right? Around here, this like a tooth pit.
Yes, definitely. I don't like the look of that one bit.
I am going to cast Sacred Flame on the walls of the pit, on the teeth.
Yeah, the divine energy flutters out and blasts up the side of the pit. It's a bit like when you hit a bit of oil on the hob, the flames up the side for a second. There was no heat, if I remember rightly, with this. Just a little flash comes up. A bit of the vines smoulder and ember back, but other than that, no change.
Okay. I am going to. And I'm going to get my copper wire out. Is everybody within 120 feet? I mean, I could. I think this should be just about because I could speak to Caspian, couldn't I? When I was over where they were by the tree. I mean, I'll go to the door and I'll go outside if I have to. But
Yeah, the hut is 95 feet away from the group.
Super. Okay, so take out my copper wire and I'll send it to Halvor.
I found one of the gems. There was a green glow under the cabin. I've removed a floorboard, and it looks like it's in a pit, surrounded by. I'm gonna be honest, like teeth. It looks like some kind of plant, viney tooth thing. I feel like I should.
Oh yeah, I've only got 20 words, so I'm just having a big conversation. Well, I can cast it multiple times. I'll then cast it again when it runs out.
Yep.
I could cast my unseen servant. Try and get him to take it out. If y'all can wait. I know it means waiting around even longer.
I mean, I'd grab it myself, but I don't think I can get in. I've got some rope if that helps.
I don't think I'll be able to necessarily lasso it.
Can't you send your dragon friend down?
Angelo. Is it big enough for Angelo to pick up the thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quicker. Oh, I feel like a kinship though with Angelo. I
Can we
don't with the
send
unseen servant.
No one likes Norris, apparently.
Norris isn't going to be able to pick it up. He's a bird. I mean, I suppose he could do. Could Norris pick it up in his claws, Dan?
If someone's reaching in and lowering him down, grabbing it with his claws, then yeah. But at that point, why aren't you just reaching in and picking it up?
So Angelo could Angelo try and get it
Yeah,
on his
because
own?
he's got
claws
arms
and
legs and wings. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm aware
What's it
that
gonna
time is of the essence.
All right, and I'm gonna bamf Angelo out,
Yeah.
and he kind of like kind of like instantly kind of like wraps around my neck, kind of like stroking her chin, like, sorry about this, boy. I need you to go in there and get it, and there's a good chance it's gonna get you. But I can bring you back. I don't like doing. Don't look at me like that. I feel bad about it already. But we need to get out of here as soon as possible. Come on, go get it for me.
And with no real complaint, it just into the hole, and you see the sort of glow dim down as he sort of blocks it as he crawls down, and about 20 seconds later, he flutters out, clutching it between his two front claws.
And I get my copper. Where I say, yeah, I decided against sending Angela in. I decided to just be brave and get it myself.
Poor Red actually laughs at that.
Sent it to Halvor. How dare you? You mind reader. Halvor's like laughing as he's saying it. Guess what Poe just said. And so he wraps around my shoulders again. I'll keep him out and kind of look over the gem, and I will put it in the bag of holding. Actually, no, I won't. I'll put it in my pocket because I don't know what effect the bag of holding. I'm more worried about ruining the gem than I am the child. So I'll keep it in my pocket for now, and then I'll try and open.
I have placed the winery gem into your inventory.
Cool. And I tell Esmeralda to back up. And Cora's already unlocked it and opened it once. Yes,
It wasn't even locked.
Oh, okay, then I will open it.
Okay.
That should have been a bit of a giveaway. There was going to be something bad in there, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
There are a number of things in here. There is a pouch about the size of a fist.
Okay.
There is a large vial of a pale blue shimmering liquid. There are 2 wrapped up sealed scrolls that thrum with magical energy.
Mm-hmm.
There is a small stone polished visibly in the shape of a cat's head, which thrums with magical energy.
Oh.
There are fucking tons of gemstones.
Oh.
And there is a strange grey, or almost, I'm loath to say it in a fantasy setting, but almost like a dirty rose gold sort of canvas wrap, something wrapped up in a bundle.
And that's not magic. It's the scrolls and the
It is
cat's head
not-
that are
it
the
is
magic
not-
items, yeah?
Yeah, it's not magic.
Okay. I call Ez over. I'm going to open the bag of holding, and if there's tons of gems, we're just going to put everything in. I'm going to put the canvas wrap and the pouch to one side, because I want to check them before I put them in. And
Sorry, I misread the thing. There are 5 gemstones, but they
fucking tons.
they each look to be very high quality.
So you could have just had like thousands of shit quality ones and stuck with your original narrative. But I'll take. So I'm like, can you help me load up all these gems? And she comes over and just takes 5 out and puts them in and makes me like a fucking prick. Okay, so I'll open back for it.
These are beautiful. Look at the cut on this one.
I'll admire them later, but yeah, I mean they look pretty good. And I'm making sure none of them are magic before I put them in, like one by one.
They are not.
Okay. And then I will have a little look in the pouch.
Looks to be a number of bullets for a sling, and you detect magic on them.
Oh, but I didn't detect it before. You said there were 2 items in here: the scrolls.
That's because I forgot. But This particular
Okay.
thing is magic.
I wasn't sure whether it was like an anti-magic pouch then.
No.
You sure, DM?
Positive.
Magic bullets. Okay, I will put them in and I'll unwrap the canvas.
So the canvas is surprisingly stiff, and as your hands on it, it's quite cold, and it unrolls in sort of very slight stiff increments, almost like it's made of some sort of sheet metal. And as you unroll it and you see what's inside, the contents slap you hard with a sense of magic.
Oh.
There is a masterfully crafted staff adorned with complex runes and engravings from top to bottom.
Is this an anti-magic canvas?
You couldn't detect magic until you unrolled it, and now you very much detect magic from what was inside it.
Anti-magic canvas? And wrote that down on my notes as
And as
well.
you're looking at it, you see these runes just colour dances up and down them.
Interesting. Does it have property of Mordenkainen scrolled into it in the side? It's got his little name badge on the
Not that you
side.
can see.
But it is his staff and his book that is currently missing, I believe, yes?
He is.
Oh, okay. Well, he's still missing it, because I just got me a new staff! Okay, I am not... I'm going to wrap this back in the canvas. Has it got ties?
Yes.
And I'm going to strap it, over my... Kind of strap it over myself if I can, because I'm not comfortable about putting such an artifact of power, as with the gem, into my bag of holding.
Okay.
And I think that's everything. So I'm going to put everything out. Can you just drop the items, or are you going to drop them in when I ID them, or how do you want to do it? Okay.
I can put. I've got them all listed here. They all already exist.
Cool.
I will give you just to test out the ID thing. I have dropped the magic staff in your bag. Oh, it's gone straight to your weapons category.
I'm going to equip it then.
I have unequipped it for you.
Okay. I'm not going to search around the room. I trust Cora's abilities. However, in the am I detecting any magic from the blood in the bathtub?
No.
Okay. Is there still blood in the bathtub? You said there was a little bit left.
Yeah.
Then I would like to take a few minutes to cast Prestidigitation a few times and get rid of the blood. I don't want no magic Three Sisters blood lying around so that some super swamp zombie comes looking for us. Yeah, and then I will...
Oh, sorry, I was targeted bartender list, so I said it as him. That was my okay to you, Halvor.
Okie doke.
Okie doke, let's go.
And then I look at Esmeralda. And is the baby asleep? Is he awake?
Yep.
I asked the question. Not a yes or no answer. Is he asleep or awake?
Yep. He's sleeping.
Okay. I'm like, you alright holding him for a minute? I just got this staff and stuff. I kind of like...
That's fine, yes. He seems to be sleeping well. I'll just keep hold of him.
Okay. Come on, let's go. And I'm going to head out, and I'm going to head back over to Baby Lasagna and the skull, which sounds like Halvor's tying rope to it. He's come back over to it.
Yes, if you go out there, you find Halvor having looped some of his long hempen rope around it, and he's going to drag it over to the magical tree.
It comes along very easily. Drifts along behind you.
What magic do I sense off it with my detect magic still up as I walk? over to Lasagna.
I fucking hate this part of the spell. Enchantment.
God, it's just always enchantment, isn't it?
Yeah,
It-
because
it-
nothing
no, it makes
in the
sense. It makes
game has it. Yeah, nothing in the
By
game.
default,
Very
yeah.
few things say, "Oh, it has this property."
Yeah,
Someone I know is starting to play Wild Soul Barbarian, where you basically get detect magic at will, and depending on the school of whatever you identify, your character glows of colours corresponding to that school. So hardly anything tells you what school shit is.
Yeah, I suppose unless you know what the school is for every type of spell. If it's a spell
Exactly.
one,
It's just an
difficult.
ease to say it's enchanted. And I think it is actually appropriate for this one.
If it's got a fly spell cast on it, then I suppose it would be the fly spell. But if it's got, I don't know. It could be necromantic because it's a skull with magic in it inherently. Is there any magic over in Lasagna?
On Lasagna herself, no.
Around her at all? Anything? No, no magic.
No, your spell does not ping.
What's the head looking like?
Sagged, rotten, jaw and tongue missing.
Fair enough. I am going to. So let me have a look which spells I've got still available. I am going to. Oh, do you know what? We've got loads of them. I've never used one. I've got a pot of alchemist fire. I'm just going to burn the body.
Okay. So yeah, she's just there, sort of almost crucified through branches. The flask just bursts on her, and the liquid inside just clings and begins to rapidly burn, and the smell is horrendous.
And as I'm kind of like looking at it and kind of cringing away, as an afterthought, I don't know whether you'll allow me to do this, given that it's no longer a creature. I'm going to look over at the hut, and I'm going to kind of hold my holy symbol, and I'm going to cast Fireball into the hut to set the hut on fire.
You can certainly do that, yeah, if you've got a spell slot for it left.
I do indeed. Done.
Yeah, fireball goes blasting in. There is a gout of flame erupts on the door and what's left of a window at the back. And yeah, flames begin to lap at it and build. And smoke begins to pour out into the sky. The mist seems a bit thinner.
I was going to ask that. Before and I forgot to ask.
Well, I think because you logged in late, you won't have seen... Well, you didn't log in properly. You won't have seen that the splash screen, the fog has been removed mostly from the fog. From the screen.
I was wondering if that was just the art or if that was real.
The fog was so
Didn't
thick
register
because that splash screen entirely spoiled several things about Perez.
I saw the splash screen when I logged in to update my character the other day with the weird little triffid head person in the hut in the background. I was like, it's a good choice.
And the floating
Putting fog
skull,
over it.
which is just a giant skull, raw. Why? Where are the giants you've seen in Barovia?
Well, just because we've not seen them doesn't mean they're not here.
True.
But spoilers, we now know they're not here.
Well, there weren't. Now there are. But you know where you're going to find them? That's right. Up on the bottom of Lake Zarathir.
Right then, head over to the tree. And I looked over and said, found quite a few things. Some interesting things. We'll check them out later.
Well, if we think we're done here, is there? If we're going to get on this tree, we're going to be straight out. Are we sure we don't want to look around Perez any longer?
Do you feel like we're in a position where any of us have got the resources or facilities?
Yes, that's true. God knows if those scarecrows are still about.
I mean, it looks like the fog is lifting. Obviously, the saga being dead, seems like we did a good job. There's always the possibility to come back another time if we feel like it.
Yes, and maybe it'll be much easier to navigate with the fog lifted.
And I look over at Ez, and
The baby's magical. Big surprise. I don't know what the deal is, but can't leave him here. I hope you all agree with that.
I look to Yenny and say, "Do you know anything about this baby?"
Just me looking at it, and she sort of comes over and pulls the hull door open slightly with a finger, sort of peering in. It's not natural, is it? But beyond that, I don't know. Don't know what it is.
So your sister never told you anything about a baby that lived here before?
I've not. This is the first time I've had my sister in hundreds of years.
I thought you said before that you visited her here, and that's
No,
what
she
you've told us
She
before.
comes to right. I think she comes to the swamp because she knows her sister's here. I think she's trying to get close to her. But did you tell us that she knew her sister was here? But Madame Eva said that that she doesn't know that she's one of the ladies three.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, do you know what? It might have been from Madame Eva. You said that Yenny goes to the swamp because she wants to be close to her sister. You might have actually said that. I don't think we said it from Yenny though. Okay. Wow, this is going to be a big law dump in a minute, DM.
And looking at this tree as well, you see there is a small sort of 4x2 maybe hole in the tree, sort of shaped like an arch. And
Too small for
Yenny just sort of looks from Halvor, who is huge, to the huge dragon skull next to him, and back to, I take it you know you're walking back, yeah?
That's fine. How quickly does the tree go?
I'm having to keep it open now. As soon as I go through it, it'll shut.
How long does your spell last, Halvor?
You rolled a 1, didn't you? So you had an hour total on it.
Yes. Somewhere between 1 and 4 hours, probably.
You did only roll a 1.
I did, but I don't know if I would know that.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, you wouldn't, would you?
The person who gave me the potion said it lasts 1d4 hours.
Kind of wishing I hadn't spent that fireball spell.
Does using the tree transport you instantaneously?
Near enough, yeah. You go through the roots, and you'll pop out at the other end.
Will you guys be able to take the skull through?
That's not going in here. There's no way.
Well, if we want the skull, we're going to have at least some of us stay. What do you think?
I think if I hadn't have spent that last fireball spell, I could have cast Reduce twice. But now I only have one spell slot left. Because I didn't know that this tree couldn't fit everybody through it.
If you want, I can take my sister and my boy and keep them safe at my house.
Maybe I should go help you. I don't want to die again.
Let me have a look at the skull.
Can I fly this skull, DM? I don't know whether it needs a magic user or not. That's the only reason.
You can certainly try.
I could try and fly it back. We know it does it. I mean, any of us might be able to, but I don't know whether it takes a certain arcane proficiency.
I mean, jump on it now. Can you even get it to our eyes?
And I will hold onto the horns, mimicking what Baby Lasagna did. I'll take the straps off where Well, do you know? No, I'll not take the straps off just yet. I'll just see if
The
I can kind
straps, sorry?
of. Halvor roped it up, didn't he? Tied a rope to it.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of hold on, and then I will try and compel it to fly. I'll pull the skull and turn it like a throttle on a motorbike.
Maybe an Arcana check. You try and get a feel or a sense for any magical energy coming from it, or how you can try and put your will on it in any way. And as you sort of hold on to it, and as you're stood behind it, holding onto the horns, you see there are actually two sort of spots, probably sort of indents where the top vertebrae would have sort of locked into the skull, that almost sort of invite being stood on. And eventually you're stood in it like you're an overgrown man-child pushing a shopping trolley and jumping on it, and you continue to slowly rotate with the natural floating drift of the skull. You seem unable to force any other activity from it.
Is this going to be something where if I spent time trying to work it out, and not in a meta way, but if that's just going to prompt additional arcana, or are we saying that I don't know how to use this?
You don't know how to. Despite looking at it, you don't see a way with your current knowledge.
But if I perhaps cast identification on it, I might have a better idea?
It is unlikely.
Okay.
I don't know how she did it. Unfortunately, she's got no jaw left that I can ask her. It seems like we're gonna have to make our own way back through the swamp.
And I look at Cora. I look at Cora. Who doesn't look fucked?
Caspin.
There you go. He can walk through.
So Caspin's tree squad, is he?
Yeah.
Yenny and Laura, obviously.
How long are we anticipating in actual playing time? Is it going to take us to walk back through the swamp?
You don't know till you do it.
Question DM.
Yeah.
Stuff put in the bag of holding. Does it hold its kind of status, and then when it's out of the bag of holding, that does it kind of like freeze it in time type thing in the bag of holding?
Didn't think it did, because
But we kind of played
air can be used up, which kind of suggests that stuff is happening in there. The environment is influencing item. If air can be breathed up and used, then surely time continues to pass.
Well, I wasn't sure whether it was also going off the fact that, if we had food in there, would food rot, or would the body parts that we have putrefy?
Well, we just for the sake of you are taking them for sensible reasons, we ruled it that for purposes of talk with dead, the Bellevue heads wouldn't putrefy.
Okay. Then, unfortunately, I am one spell slot short of getting us all through this tree.
Unless we can wait around for an hour, we're walking through Perez.
Well, I assume Jenny can't wait that long with the tree. Looks at Jenny.
Looks at Yenny.
Like I said, you can't keep it going that long.
All right. Maybe just take the skull. I can reduce its size, but it's only temporary. Enough to get it through the skulls on the other side, so we're not dragging it through the entire swamp.
Bartandalus, can you make me a history or an arcana check?
Bear with me.
While you do that, I was going to say I am, in Lindsay terms, completely knackered, and I would happily go through the tree, and you guys can continue through the swamp. But if it's going to be like several months till I see you again in real life, I didn't want to screw
It
you
won't
guys
be
up.
months, but it would be us trying to navigate through
Oh yeah, I'm
without
better
our
at it, aren't I?
ranger.
Yeah, okay, no, cool. I'll stay with you.
Well, Alvor's survivally.
Bartandalus, something, even as you're talking about it, you can't you can't remember exactly what it was, but even as you're talking about shrinking the dragon skull, you're just sure you recall or you read something about the innate magic in dragon bone.
Then it can't be shrunk.
You can't remember. Just even as you're saying it, something itches at you. You can't quite put your finger on it.
There's something about the idea of shrinking this that makes me think it might not work. I think we're going to be walking. If we can't fly it, we're going to be walking. And I ain't got a lot left in me to heal everybody up.
Well then, I say we double time it and try and get out of here as fast as possible. Hopefully, we'll even be more aided by the fact that the mist is lighter now.
Yeah, if we can reach the river and head up, then we might be alright. But,
Oh, look at that. That went really quick.
and I look at Cora and say, you helped us get here. You helped us get through the swamp, but I think you should go.
I'll stay with you if it'll help you.
We
I
can
can't-
manage without, but I'm a little bit worried you might die.
I can't heal everybody up. We're now coming to a point where, unless we're going to be resting here overnight, we're going to have to be trying to make our way through the swamp on our current condition. And with all due respect, you just nearly got killed by a bunch of hands, and you ain't looking too good.
I.e., you've currently got a point of exhaustion as well, so your navigating is going to be shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I should just fuck off.
And
I'm going to stick with Halvor. Casprin, you're going to head through with Cora. I trust these people with my life and yours.
I think it's more going to be him looking after us than the other way around.
And I smile. I look at Sir Artund and say,
I know I said that your oath had been fulfilled, but if you could help us the rest of the way, it would be mighty appreciated.
To arms!
Doesn't respond. He just keeps staring ahead.
Okay. How's she looking? As rough as me and Halvor?
She looks rougher than Halvor. She
Yeah, I've got 50.
yeah, she looks better than you. It's like, if it must be done, it must be done. I'm not going. If they're heading back safely, I'm not going to leave you to walk through the swamp alone.
Then myself, Halvor, and Sir Artund, if he's willing, we'll make our way through. We'll reach the other side and we'll meet you at Vallaki. Jenny's.
So, just to point out to you from a DM point of view, this means that Cora will be in Vallaki. Everybody else will presumably be at the winery. You have scheduled events coming up in Vallaki, but you also have a scheduled event coming up at the winery.
What was happening at the winery? Our meeting with
Whether
Strahd.
we're meeting Strahd, which
The
just isn't.
carriage will be turning up for you.
I don't plan on being there.
Yeah, I don't plan on being there, so that's
Okay.
for the birds anyway.
Well, I want to go.
Well, I mean, you can go if you want. When we reach the crossroads, if you want to go that way, then by all means. But I figure it might make sense if we head to Argynvost Halt before we head back to Vallaki.
Well, since we have the winery gem, we're going to need to go there at some point as well.
And I look at Yenny and say, would you be able to cast another tree for Cora to meet us somewhere if I got a message to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to do it again. Takes it out of me, but it sort of pats Laura on the shoulder. It's like, I'd say I can afford to have it taken out of me a bit.
And I take the gem, and I will give it to Yenny. I'll take the canvas wrap and I will hand it to Cora and say, protect this. I believe this is the staff that we've been looking for.
I'll certainly look after it as best I can.
And I look at Caspian. Is he kind of like with his wounds, his bit of milk? Is he kind of like on his feet? He's looking okay.
Yeah.
And I walk over to Ez and I'm going to take the hold all with the baby, and I'm going to put it over Caspian.
Ooh. He's going to get eaten by a baby.
He sort of glances into the holder, he sort of winces and blanches for a second, but just gives you a nod.
We all need to protect each other.
Yenny looks at you and he's like, do you want me to keep him at my place? Or once she's settled, do you want me to take him to yours?
If we're heading towards the winery, because we need to get that gem back to them, I'd sooner him be there. I don't like him being at Vallaki, especially if we're moving around. There's too much going on there, and I don't trust some of the people there.
If I go back with Yenny then and have a long rest while I'm doing there, have a bit of a sleep, perhaps I could bring him and meet you at the winery.
Well, that's why I'm asking whether Yenny can tree you there for a bit of fast travel.
I can definitely tree you there. Am I doing it, what, as soon as we get back? So she's waiting for you at the winery? Or give it a bit of time? What do you want to do? Because once I do it, it's done.
Let her rest. I imagine it's going to take us a while to get out of this swamp, providing we don't come across any problems. But we'll head to the winery.
Can you send a message at any time so that I know that you're there?
We've got the red ruby thing, so we can get them to send a message, I guess, when we get to the winery.
Yeah, okay.
I've not got sending prepared, and we've not got the trick tubes anymore. But if we're going to the winery, but I imagine we're going to drop the skull off first. So this kind of is a bit of a divide the group type thing while things are getting handed in. So it depends where you want to go. You're obviously going to have your whole Yenny and Laura moment in a minute, though. So if you're kind of cool with that, then I think this makes sense.
Well, we can do that now, or we can do that just before I leave to go to the winery, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to be...
Yeah, I'll go off and have a chat with those guys and see what's going on.
You're going to do your Fane stuff, man. This is, Fanny Seeker. Cool.
Just to check, because I'm not sure if I misheard before. Is this basically stemming from, regardless of Cora's HP, is Lindsay wanting to step out of the session now? Because I won't launch into all that if this is your way of segueing into you going.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But if you guys would rather I stick around and do that, that's cool. It's just I'm knackered.
Can you... If you can definitely make some time for it next week, or I might WhatsApp you during the week some stuff.
Whichever.
Yeah. Okay. So through the tree, then sort of Caspian sort of looks around you all and sort of like looks. You see this knackered kid, but then there's a moment where you see he tries to sort of draw himself up a bit and assume a bit of formality. And he said, I owe each of you a great debt, and I assure you, you will have my full gratitude and the support of my family when we are home. I am indebted to each of you.
Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it 1 second.
And Yenny sort of ushers him to step into the alcove in the tree, a little archway, and he steps under. And even though you can see the full diameter of the tree, he seems to just take a few steps more further than he should be able to, and vanishes. Yenny then guides Laura in, who does the same, and then she looks to you, Cora. Come on, girl.
I look back to Bartandless and Halvor and say, take care, friends. I hope to see you again very soon.
You will. And I nod at her.
And with that, I disappear into the tree.
Yenny steps in and says, thank you. We'll talk when you're back. Just tell me when you're ready for that tree. Winery, yeah?
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. And she steps in and a second and disappears. And a second later, the tree just cracks at the bough and goes to timber forward. But before it even hits the floor, it just erupts into a cloud of leaves instead.
It's
And
a
with
long
that-
walk.
Go on. And with that,
And with that, Cora was gone. I'll see you next week, guys.
See you next
see you
week.
next week.
Fucking lightweight.
Cora lightweight.
Yeah, I heard that.
I know. Okay.
And I look at the mighty four.
It's a walk. It's a journey. You reckon we have a bit of a rest, recuperate before we head off?
I mean, we're not doing any magics right now. If you want to wait for like another 40 minutes or something, then that's fine. But after that, I think we should double time it out of here.
I agree. I think we'd all benefit from a short rest.
Very well. And Dalvor sits on a branch and just doesn't really want to accomplish anything right now other than get his breath back. It's been a long day. By the way, this Caspian, what's the deal with him?
What do you mean?
I mean, why are you even looking for him? It seems like you know him. Did you know him back in Dubec, or?
No. Back in Dubec, I used to find people, usually kids, that had gone missing. Anything where it seemed like there was the occult or, something untoward involved. Not your typical strays and runaways. That was kind of my forte. I'd find missing people. And that's why I ended up here. Kind of heard about some place he might have been taken to, and heard that the only way to get there was through the ritual that unfortunately I once thought I'd caught you all up in, but I don't know, seems like there's more to it. Seems like none of us are here by accident. But yeah, I met his mother and father. They're barons back home, wealthy people. Caspian's their heir. It's important. I don't know what Strahd has involved for him. Why he's brought him here.
And do you just plan to try and return him to his parents?
If I can. Why?
Well, I'm not going to lie. The thought had crossed my mind that you might You know, the whole thing with the old god. I thought that maybe you'd want to kill him.
Who? Velsharoon?
Yes, I thought that maybe he was someone who was on your list.
He was, but with everything I went through with the abbot, and then I kind of like gesture myself with Father Lucian, I knew that if I wanted to be someone different, then I couldn't be the person I was.
And I gesture to my side, and I don't know if you've ever noticed, but Poe's not carrying his ashes. His the pot of ashes, the urn of ashes that he had for him.
God, I totally forgot about the gross milk drinking and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
There was a life, and I guess the wants and desires of somebody completely different. The person I was, the things I've done. I don't know. You're an intelligent person. I think it's safe to say that you know that I've probably done some bad things, right?
I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Nothing I'm proud of. All things I felt I had to do. But it was all in the name of trying to chase down everybody that knew about him. And so I felt that here's pretty bad already. It didn't need another person like who I was. I needed to be something different, something better, something what I saw in the abbot, at least what he once was. What we did was,
Well, I wouldn't worry too much. I'm sure that everybody here has done things they're not proud of, but the important thing is to strive to be better and to do good.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, and I like to think that the fact that I can now do the things that I do and do them in the Morning Lord's name, wherever he is, and as disconnected as I sometimes feel to him in this place, I like to think that he feels that I've changed or can change as well. It wasn't always this way when I was a young man. I swore my life to Lathander. But things happened, and, well, you know. So now I'm just trying to do what I can and leave behind the person that I was, and but this, and I look back over my shoulder at the hut that's burning. Caspian, that was Poe's job, but Poe ain't around no more. So that falls to me. That falls to me to save that boy. That's a debt that I need to pay. Sometimes feel like we're going to be here forever. But then, the things we do, I always feel like we're a step closer to leaving.
We've certainly enacted what feels like positive change on this place, so hopefully that is inching us closer, no matter what it takes.
And Poe kind of leans forward a little bit, says,
But do you not feel sometimes that with everything that Strahd knows, everybody we meet that has these secrets, all the talk from Madame Eva,
and I kind of like cast a glance at Esmeralda,
about fate, about us being brought here, even though it feels that we're getting closer to something, and no doubt we've got further than anybody that's been here, I don't know, before, or at least a long time, I feel like it's going to get taken away from us in an instant.
he kind of snaps his fingers.
I feel like we're being played with all the time.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. I feel like we've barely been showed Strahd's full power, and when he decided to switch it on, you know, we didn't have a hope of saving Irina. I just hope that we're not on the receiving end of something like that.
Well, wherever she's ended up, if everything that they say is true, sounds like it'd be better than wherever we'd go, wherever Dolus is. I don't know. Kind of everything pulls me to wanting to leave this place. And I gotta cling to that belief that we're gonna. It's hard to keep believing sometimes, you know?
I know what you mean, but if we don't work towards that, then it's practically like giving up and dying straight away.
I agree. I feel that's why we move from one place to the next and never stop. It's just day after day after day since we got here. I feel like the moment that we stop that momentum, we're just gonna languish like everybody else here. Just give up. I feel like us doing this is the only thing that's keeping us alive. As deadly and dangerous as it is, I think if we weren't doing it, we'd be dead already. What's waiting for you when you get back home, Halvor?
Not much these days. I've been traveling for a long time since I left my village in the north, Grundafjordur. I've been moving from place to place, I suppose, kind of looking to find my fortune or some other cliche like that.
Find your story, right? Seems like a bit of a big thing, people in the north. Always trying to be, they want to be, all want to be part of the Terra Flare. They want to be, have their big epic.
I mean, who wouldn't? I want to live up to the family name and all that kind of thing, but I have to admit, when I first left, I was more just fleeing the town, but now it's more about what's the point? What's your purpose in this world?
You know, it's quite funny. I remember when we first got here, and when we went to the Vistani camp, and we're all telling our stories. And you spoke about the Terra Flare and about how you were related. And I laughed. I laughed when you said it because I mean, and I look at Esmeralda, and it's it's kind of a big story back home. It's one of those things that everybody, no matter where you're from, has heard of. And Helvor here, campfire session.
Ez is just setting one up before she sits back into the root against the sort of roots. She's just throwing together a few stones and
As she
start
puts
small,
the
start a
kindling on.
small fire.
I as she kind of puts it together, I will thaumaturgy, and I will light the campfire just idly. It's a pretty well known story, you know. Mothers are telling to children in the womb back in the north. And Halvor here, well, his story was that he was related. Was it your uncle?
Oh, I
Yeah, great founder.
think we're talking great something
Great,
or other
great, great.
grandfather.
Sure. And I laughed. I laughed at that because I've been around. I've met many a Northman, and many try to claim that they're the great something or other to those that were involved in that event. But you know what, Elvor? I laughed because I'd heard that so many times. But you're probably the first Northman I've ever met that I'd actually believe it.
Well, I appreciate you saying it. I mean, the truth is that I have no way of knowing for certain one way or the other, but and he rummages in his backpack. As long as I have this, then I will hold on to the story and at least use it as motivation. And I toss it over to Poe and Esmeralda, and it is the bare pommeled hilt of a sword with no blade attached. Very, very old looking.
I kind of like weigh it up in my hands.
The power of stories, right?
Indeed.
Well, good for you, Alvor, that you've got something. For somebody that's moving from place to place, I guess it doesn't matter where you're going. You're always taking your roots with you.
I kind of like hand it back over. I kind of like get up and kind of like respectfully, don't throw it. I like hand it over to him.
I don't know, I think since I've been here, I've probably felt more purpose than ever before. It seems like I've found the real reason to live up to, to honor Helm and to be able to really protect people who are doing something important. Whereas for a lot of my life, I've just been drifting around and doing odd jobs here and there.
Yeah, I understand that. My whole thing was moving around so that I didn't have to put roots down. I just wanted to keep moving and keep moving as far away from where I came from as possible. I don't know. Always said that I was looking for more people that might know about Velsharoon that might help me find out what I needed to find out, but if I'm honest with myself, I think there was as much of it that I just didn't want to go back to where I was. I didn't want to be reminded of the person that I was. Because the moment I started to feel that, when I started to feel, I don't know, nostalgic and remember the person I used to be, just made it all that little bit harder to do the things I needed to do.
I think we're going to have some tough decisions ahead of us as well.
No doubt. No doubt.
And Poe kind of like settles in a little bit more and like moves some leaves and kind of like a bit of moss and bush around him and just kind of like just takes a deep breath. The smoke kind of like kicking up a little bit and a bit of the warmth from the damp of the swamp. Just feels
Noticeably fewer flies.
yeah. Just feels that moment of, I don't know, a little bit of inner peace.
And you can both apply. You can feel free to keep talking by all means, but you can both also apply a short rest. And if you have any hit dice, bearing in mind you may have accidentally got more put on when you leveled up, but they won't have replenished. Yeah, feel free to heal up.
How do you spend them? I can't remember how you spend them.
I think when you take the rest, it will ask you if you want to burn any. If you have any, it will pop up saying, "Hey, click here to use some."
It does. It does. Okay. How about you stop rolling so fucking bad? Motherfucker! Did it on purpose, that one.
I rolled like a baller roll every single time, and you are just rolling nothing.
That's the way I roll. Spent everything I had. Still 9 points short of max HP. Why don't I fucking bother? Oh, yes, and I get a spell slot back. remember how it works. Spell slot's going to have a combined level that's equal to or less than half your wizard level. So I was at level 4, so level 2 slot. Level 2 slot. Okay. Yes. Do I want a level 2 or... Oh, I can't have any more than... Okay, I'm having level 2. Boop. Hell, well, let's reduce you in the... Oh, wait, the tree's gone.
Esmeralda sort of looks between you both as she's sort of chewing on a bit of hard tack. Of arms, yeah, her knees brought up, her arms around them. So, once we're back in Vallaki, what next?
Well, I don't think we're heading back to Vallaki for a while. I think we're gonna head back to Argynvost Hold and nod over to Sir Arthand and the Skull. And then probably on to the winery, where we'll meet up with Yenny. Cora.
We would have to pass the winery long before we get to our was told for, yes?
Would we?
Absolutely.
The winery was like on the far left of the map.
It's left and pretty low down there.
Oh, we're not at Yester Hill.
No, we're at fucking Berez. I'm like, what the fuck has happened
Yep.
while we've been in the
No,
swamp?
you
We
are
really got
correct.
turned around.
Yep, of course. That is correct.
And look at him like, you don't even know. You fucking...
I took a treat of a head. You'll have to forgive me.
I feel like we're gonna have business at Yesterhill. Especially once Laura's back on her feet.
Oh yeah, we said to the druids that we try and, I don't know, find a way of restoring it. I'm not entirely sure what we were searching for or what our goal was, but we didn't do a great job. Oh, was it the gem?
No, we had to go underneath it to restore the fane, but everybody gets lost in there. I like to think that, the huntress might actually know her way underneath it.
That's true. But yes, I mean, it wouldn't hurt us to take a couple of days just doing whatever, but in the meantime, we've got the winery gem to deliver, the skull to deliver, potentially Strahd to visit, and I believe all of the Arthan's brothers in arms are still waiting for us to join them and aid them.
Yeah.
I love how, I mean, as much as I appreciate it, having done all the prep, I love just how
He casually drops in to visit Strahd.
one man insistence that that's going ahead. I appreciate you, Halvor.
I want that session.
Out of character, I want the session. Without a doubt. In character, after being told we would get murdered, less inclined.
He did
But we'll
also
see.
promise you safe passage.
Yeah, but Strahd promises other things. I'm pretty sure Strahd promised us in the church that he wasn't going to kill us, and then said he was going to kill us. So,
Well, let's make no decisions just yet. I think one thing at a time, and first and foremost, we need to get out of Berez.
Very well. I say we quick march it. Less about stealth, more about getting out as fast as we can.
All right.
and kind of scratch Angelo under his chin, stand up, roll my shoulders, feeling a little bit better. Did Arton roll any hit dice, or did he have none?
No, he's just still sat on the root facing away.
Is he not moved at all?
He's not moved in a while.
But I mean, he was sat there with his blades across his knees. Not like, has he gone into some weird fucking? He's still like that.
He's still sat on the root, like a large root. Yeah, Sword just laying across his knees.
Sir Arthur, are you okay?
No reply.
Come with us. Does he move?
No.
God damn it. I told him that his oath had been fulfilled.
And yet, he doesn't fade away or anything.
I imagine he might just be waiting here to die.
Well, either way, let's make a move. And Halvor picks up the rope attached to the skull. He's going to move in front of Arthur and on his way say, Sir Arthur, your honor binds you to protect this skull. We're moving. Come with.
Maybe perception check. Whereas before there was a slight sort of glow and focus in the eye sockets, now they are dull and empty, and there is no movement.
I think he's gone.
Well, at least we might have put one soul to rest.
I mean, I think we should maybe also bury his bones, but is the swamp a place to do that? Can you fit a whole person inside the sack?
Is he bones when he's, or is he like sinew and zombie? Is he more bones or zombie?
He's more bones.
Okay.
He's quite skinny.
I think piece by piece we could put him in and lay his bones to rest back at Argynvoss Hall.
God, if I lift up his head, does it just come off?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Oh my god, he's just been out of it all this time. We've been having a chat around the fucking corpse.
And I've marked. Oh, it doesn't look. I don't have permission to show you for some reason, but I have marked the quest as complete. The quest, Trial of Valor. You have accompanied Sir Arthur Borwin on a suitably heroic deed.
Heroic indeed. He was like the hero of the hour. Getting that cartophagus. And
Do we have permission to view that quest?
I think I closed
think I
it
just
wrong.
saw it.
Instead of closing it, I accidentally put it back to inactive. It should be in your completed tab now. It was
Yes,
in your
I see
in
it.
progress tab, but I realised I'd actually made it personal, but to none of you.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I have also resolved the quest, Rescue Caspian Valise, which is a personal quest for you, Bartandalis.
Check me out, everybody.
Rescue Vonya Belasco still sits away on your desk, Halvor, and it sounds like it may not get resolved.
Well, we'll see. So I'll stand in front of Sir Arton with a slight smile on my face and kind of hold on to my amulet and say,
Your last sun has risen. Go to the arms of Lathander. Be in his eternal warm, soothing light. We will miss your boldness, your bravery, and your courage. We will cherish your willingness to help us in our plight. Your legacy will continue to those who knew you and the stories that they will tell of you. And through those things you shall live on. For in death, life.
and I will kind of start. I'm going to kind of like take he's got a cape on it. It's a bit tattered, but he's got a cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of like gather it around and try and collect as many bones so they don't just scatter everywhere. So like kind of like skull and a bit of the top half, and then I'm going to start feeding his bones into the bag of holding, if that's okay.
Have you ever detected magic when we're in his presence? Did he notice anything? Or just a general magic from the fact that he's a walking skeleton?
N- Not.
Guess would be some necromancy coming from it. I guess.
I mean, a little. I think never really commented on it because I think we all know that it was not necessarily his grim determination that was keeping his bones together. But yeah, I think him and his kind, there's all. It's not. It's different. It's not quite magic. There's an element of the divine about it. You know, it's they've not quite moved on, but they've taken a piece of that essence, but they're trapped. It's hard to describe.
I guess he's not wielding any magical artifacts then.
No, he's not. Is he them?
Yes, he is.
He
He is. He's got a magic shield and sword and armor and cape and helmet and sandals and gloves.
Sandals? No, he has no magical items on
Is that where you lost me when I said sandals? Damn.
him.
That's a shame. I've seen the wounds he inflicts with that blade. I guess it's from the strength of well, not muscles, but his self. Also, his shield is long gone.
Yes, his shield is long gone.
He's still got his sword though, yeah.
He
So
does.
I'll
Oh
take
yeah, yeah. He's been using it to great effect in this combat.
He does. I will. I'll put his sword in there as well.
Okay.
We should get moving. Don't get me wrong, my curiosity about what these magic items are is killing me, but I don't want to get trapped out of here in the dark.
What did you find? What was that you gave to Cora? You think it's Mordenkainen's?
I believe so. It was pretty powerful. As soon as it was wrapped in a cloth, and I couldn't even tell that there's a magic item in there. So the cloth itself is interesting. I'm going to require some additional investigation, but yeah, judging off how powerful that staff felt, I'm pretty sure it was Mordenkainen's. I found that, found the emerald. I found, and I take out the little cat's head. Found this and some, I can pull out the pouch, some magic bullets useful for a sling, but not that useful until we know what they do.
I mean, I'll hold on to them if you want. I have a sling.
Yeah, and I hand them over.
Just remind me at some point to actually identify them for you.
Which reminds me, I gave all my arrows to Cora, so this is probably a good thing to have.
Well, hopefully we won't have to rely on you using arrows. If it comes to that, then it's a pretty bad day, and we're all probably dead anyway.
Right you are about Andalus.
Right then. Make sure that you can cut yourself free of that skull quickly. I don't want something coming up on us and you being tethered to that damn thing.
Well, it's pretty light, so I guess I'll just keep hold it by hand for the most part, so I can drop it if needs be.
All right.
I look over to Esmeralda, who's been quiet, looking into the campfire.
She's also dead.
You
Yes,
all right?
and maybe next time about Andalus, you won't tell our undead friends that job is done until it's done.
Yeah, that's on me. I'll take that.
Poor Halvor channeling his inner Gimli. Barthandelus is full-blown Aragorn.
It's my mistake.
Yeah, Ez has been alternating between chewing a bit of food and patching herself up as best she can. She's like, it's good to have a real fire for a while.
Well,
This this will be an interesting one. Heading back, just the three of us. and her eyes sort of linger on Bartandalus for a second.
And then I pat Angelo. 4?
She
Well then, no
rolls
time
herself
like
up.
the present.
Let's head out.
Okay.
Once you decide, DM, what's happening next, I'm just going to go and move my children off bed. I'll be back in.
I'm already loading the scene. I know fully what's happening.
Well, I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Do you want to... In that case, if he's gone, Halvor, do you want a second to grab a drink or nip the loo?
Sure.
Yep, I'll do the same. I'm back. Are either of you? So it's just me and my viewers, because one of my players is dead. The other two are off doing chores. I can see I have 4 viewers. I don't know who they are. I presume Rhesus might be one of them. I presume Sorcel might be another. One is probably the person I work with. If you're not one of those 3 people, say hello in the chat, because I have nothing else to do except there's Rhesus. I was hoping for combat today. Well, I suppose we got combat in the form of Cora being collectively bitch slapped to death by severed hands. Did one of you leave the channel then and pop back in?
I did.
Mr. Deck, I thought you said you only stayed for that moment and then you left Deck, so I thought you'd gone, that's why. So we're just waiting on Bartandalus. So yes, you can see how the fog has cleared significantly, making navigation quite a bit... Oh, you're not even in Foundry.
I took the opportunity to quickly switch machines.
Oh, nice. Your macros carry over, are they local?
Pretty sure they are carried over, but we'll find out.
Brez looks interesting. Holy shit! So you can literally walk right into Babylon Saga, like right at the beginning, if you follow the road.
Yep, and so if you look where you went, you followed the road to the ruins at the north.
Yeah.
You were so close to her. Then you cut across the field to the river. Then you
Oh,
followed
God.
the river south all the way around the bend. Then you went up. Then you went down. Then you went up.
Oh,
You
my.
literally just spiraled around the objective. You can follow the road to its end, and you're 1 hex away from the saga. If you do end up being totally useless, though, there is the benefit that the hook can come to you.
No, it was good. I quite like being lost.
Also, there is nothing to the west of you. There is a church and a mansion, and I just merged them because there is so little at either of them, and that one map seemed to serve both, that I just mixed it into one place.
Okay. So,
yes.
other than these ruins to the right of us, we've seen everything.
Yeah.
And I guess they would be not obvious because there's still loads of trees and shit in front of us.
Yeah, and it is still foggy. It just isn't like that 20 foot in front of you, a wall.
So, in all reality, I think what we would be most likely to do is try and head towards the river because we had no idea where we were. So we would probably try and head east towards the river, which is probably accidentally going to inadvertently bring us towards these ruins.
I would say you'd be able to see the ruins several hundred feet before you arrived at them. Things aren't going to be popping out the fog at you anymore. You have got a bit of view.
Well, I wasn't sure if there was just fucking trees everywhere because we're in a swamp.
I mean, if we were retracing our steps in order to get out,
we couldn't because we didn't know what our steps were in the mist. So actually, no. If we were retracing, if we can still see the church, we'd probably head towards the church, I guess, won't we? And then to the river because we know that's a definite route.
Where was the stone circle in relation to this?
To the south of us. It was next to the church, you can see.
That's the circle.
No, that circle of stone, that circle next to the building is
the shit heap.
The wall of skulls. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that's what you meant. Sorry.
No, like the standing
over
stones.
the river.
Yeah, which we've still not fucking cleansed. Although we've not got a ritual yet, so we don't actually know how to do that, do we?
Yeah, so I guess the most reliable way for us to get out would be
Back the way we came.
Head the way we came.
Yeah,
which seems like a long way.
But it's the way we know. We've no idea where we are. We would try and head back to the church and know that it wasn't that far away from the water. And then we would head along the water, I feel.
Yeah.
Which at some point, which means we would then essentially only come to the ruins just from a different angle. We just wouldn't know it. So yeah,
so
we'll do that.
Are you the navigator?
I sure am.
Please confirm for me which direction you're wanting to head in.
I believe I'm going to head south. Or the southern hex, at least.
Okay. Survival check me.
I don't suppose my wilderness explorer thing that I linked before does anything since we've been lost.
I've taken it into account, but you didn't know the general layout before. Yeah, you come. You can see the ruins from here. Not particularly difficult, and you do make it to the ruins, including the collapsed circle of skulls, still devoid of any scarecrows. The mist and fog lighter than it was before. I won't load the whole map up again unless you want to start looking around this place again. But yeah, you are at that place.
You want to go and kill some sturges on our own?
I mean, I kind of want to see what they might have had in that room, but I don't think that we're quite ready to do that right now.
No.
Since you have like 3 spells or some shit.
Yeah. On a good day.
So you navigate, you're just heading through or around the ruins to the other side of them?
Pretty much. Don't want to go directly through the skull thing.
No, but you have space between the building and that.
Yeah,
Keep your
right
eyes out for
between the two of them.
scarecrows. And we'll send
Yes.
Angelo. We'll send Angelo out ahead as well, and he can kind of like help us if there's any stuff ahead of us.
Okay, yeah. You reach the south of the ruins where you originally entered them from. Which way do you go now?
From this point, can we see the river?
Not yet.
Then keep going south.
Okay, maybe no survival. Yeah, all day.
I'm just going to say,
Throughout,
I'm going to give him guidance for any more of this shenanigans, like I was doing with Cora.
yeah, you find that your feet are falling familiarly, and now that the visibility is all the better, you kind of feel like you've been doing it in hard mode before, and now you're just getting to just speed run it through. You have much better visibility than earlier. You can get a better lay of the land. You can see the rise across the river. And in fact, you can see the stone circles rising up over, and you know there's a river between you and that. And it's just an excellent sort of bearing for you to keep in relation to as you're travelling. And before long, you find the grass sloping down towards the river. And even though it makes no sense, even with the fog being lighter, it almost feels like you can hear the river earlier than you could yesterday. Like that fog was just muffling and absorbing some of the sound. You also notice, Halvor, after a while, a single bird is circling above you repeatedly.
I scrutinize it.
I get Esmeralda to cast lightning on it.
Looks to be a single raven.
I just turn to Bartandelus and say, "See that? Hopefully it's a good sign."
I mean, if it's got blue tip wings, then
It does.
I've got really good eyes. Then I think we're all right.
I wave at the bird.
Almost seems to dip for a second before picking back up. And it keeps circling but begins to fly away from you slightly to the east.
We're going
Yeah.
to go east.
Oh yeah, we're absolutely probably going to go to check the veins out. DM, can we say as we set off, we realised that we're not walking on water anymore, and I took 10 minutes to cast walk on water.
We can.
Yes. Otherwise, we're just doing it at the edge of the wall. We would have not got this far without me casting it.
Yeah, you'd have 100 metres in, you'd have realised it was the first time you went up to your knee in a puddle. I think you realised. Oh yeah.
Oh
Shit.
shit.
Do you think we should go and see if the vein's any different now that we're here?
I mean, the other two Fanes haven't really given us much, so I don't honestly think there's much point. I think we're going to need to revisit them once we learn how to restore them as it is.
You're probably right. I mean, I get it with Yester Hill, there's still Fire there, but we killed the hags, and there was nothing at the thing there. So, yeah, let's not waste time. Let's just get out of here.
And they march on.
Quick time.
So you're actually travelling at speed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Bold.
The time you get to here,
Jogging across the water.
it is getting dark.
Get that far without incident? Beautiful.
Things are quieter and stiller, especially if you're travelling along the water. Are you hugging the bank or are you actually walking on the middle of the river, sorry?
On both, just in case shit comes from the land. Shit
Yeah,
comes
that's fine.
from
You
the water.
can trigger encounters on both, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or neither. Ah.
As you get to around here, sorry.
Oh,
you both begin to see to your right, over here, a single large flame burning.
What the hell do you think that is?
Is it up on a hill because we can
Yes.
see it, or is it okay? I send Angelo up in the air, see if he can get a bit of a better visual on it.
Oh, sorry, just directly up.
Yeah. I mean, I can only have I mean, I can send him wherever I want to send him. I'm going to send him closer to investigate, and then tell him to come back.
Okay. How far do you want him to go? It's a kilometre away, about.
Do you know what? I say, should we head towards it? I'll get Angelo to have a little look when we get closer.
Sure, but no more detours after this.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll head further inland, and then when we're about, I don't know. Oh,
Go on, so you're saying?
where did that come from?
I just haven't played it in a while.
Oh no, it's back. Just comes running down the river. It's got a water walk cast on it.
You just hear a voice. Psych.
So yeah, we'll head further inland, and as we kind of like reach the bottom of the hill, I'll send Angelo up to have a look until he can see something, and then get him to circle back and tell me what he sees.
Get an image flashes of a statue in a kneeling pose with a fire burning in a large brazier in front of it.
I relay this to Halvor.
I mean, it's not that far off the beaten track. We should check it out.
It's just a statue with a fire on it.
I mean, I'd never describe anything in Barovia with the words "just" as a prefix, but yeah, it's a statue with a fire burning in it.
You don't see any living creatures at all.
Well, Angelo didn't. Don't mean there's nothing up there, but
Okay, then let's maybe get a bit closer.
maybe travel a little bit quieter this time.
Agreed.
And I will bamf Angelo so that we've not got the light. Because you say it's getting dark now, yeah?
It's starting to get just pre-dusk, yeah.
Okay.
The raven circles overhead and is occasionally cawing, which it wasn't before.
Oh.
I never know whether that means a good thing or a bad thing.
I
feel like they went fucking nuts with the windmill.
I feel like that's probably telling us there's something sketchy, to be honest.
Well, let's eliminate whatever's sketchy. That's what we do. We make Barovia a better place for all, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Who's that?
That's Bartandlus's middle name.
And we'll start
going
quieter.
Yeah, okay. Make me a survival check with advantage, Halvor. Given you got this and guidance member. You have this large beacon to zone in on. Yeah, boy. Eventually, the ground, the topography is quite steady. The sharp incline comes very abruptly, and you find sort of parting through what's left of the fog and elevated a few feet above the surrounding marsh is a raised plot of land, barely 10 feet on a side, enclosed by a rapidly crumbling and disintegrating iron fence. In the centre is a large stone monument carved in the likeness of a kneeling peasant girl clutching a rose. A brazier of iron burns fiercely about 10-15 foot in front of the statue. How close are you getting?
I'm following Halvor.
So how far away are we currently?
About 60 foot away at the moment.
I'll close. I'll make to close half of that, but keep an eye on how the Raven is reacting.
Yeah. Raven continues circling above. No change in behaviour the last few minutes. Getting closer. What's your passive perception, Halvor?
10 plus whiz.
I think it's on my character sheet somewhere. My
I found
wisdom
it now.
is
I found
plus
it.
1.
Your passive perception, I said. Your passive perception is 19 according to your character sheet.
It adds your
Wow.
proficiency as well, I think.
Although the features are greyed and heavily weather-worn, you immediately notice that this statue is of Arena.
Oh, well, fuck.
And you see there is an epitaph carved into the monument base.
I want to see it.
And it reads, Marina, taken by the mists.
Marina?
Mm.
Yet another name.
Was that not the name of Pedophile's daughter? The guy that was like the Burgermeister of Berez that was in the cage? Was his daughter not Marina? DM?
Oh, I just thought you were asking that out loud.
No, because I did it in my normal voice.
You
Who-
used to
what?
you used to take notes. Yes, that was.
Yeah, I didn't want to just look through it. I was just after clarification. I thought it was.
I mean, you can't deny that looks like Irina, right?
Certainly does.
And the raven swoops down and just perches on it for a moment and faces you and just sort of stretches its wings.
I wonder what happened to her.
I don't think we know. We just know of them. We don't know necessarily how some of them died, though, do we?
Correct.
I can't remember whether we do of Marina. If only we had like a wiki or something.
You'd never fucking read it.
Taken by the mists. You think this light was lit to try and guide her back home?
God knows. I could imagine. I was wondering maybe this is where she would be rising again or something, but I mean, who knows if Marina is even the first incarnation?
Well, I mean, the first
Not you,
incarnation-
that's who.
the first incarnation would have been Sergei's bride, who was named DM. Okay, I
Fucking
can't remember.
hell, that's bad. Tatiana.
Oh, of course, it was Tatiana. Oh, yeah.
It was Tatiana.
Of course. But Marina.
I don't know where she fell in. I imagine quite early on. It seems like everything that happened in Berez happened quite early on. I don't know how many of them there have been.
I know we've had a few names back. I don't think it was necessarily. We've not had a complete dossier, have we?
No. No, this is Dark Souls. You piece the story together. You don't get it fed to you. Well,
Sure.
sometimes you piece the story together.
I mean, we're now at a point where I don't even access to all the stuff we've read on the tombs, so I have no idea.
You do.
Oh, have you put it in
In
Fountain?
your I think how dare you not remember the thing I've never told you yet because I forgot.
Have you updated
In
my item?
in the item Tome of Strahd, you now have a link to the Google document I am updating.
Oh, good man, good man.
Same for I think all your books that you've translated and stuff. I think they are all the case now.
Excellent. Just to let you know that when we get back to the winery,
You're
I'm
moving all
probably
the shit around into categories.
no. Fuck off. I'm not touching any of this shit. This is your job. When we get to the winery, there is going to be some heavy downtime.
Okay.
So there'll be a lot of decoding because I am going to be getting me some spells as well.
Oh,
Well,
it still goes to World Anvil. So no, I've made the Google Doc. I haven't put. Oh, I think the item in the. I need to re-add the item to your bag. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, it's done.
lying asshole.
Is it not easier to add this to a journal?
Not for the amount of formatting it requires. I don't like
Fair
the
enough.
formatting. And I don't know about you as a player in a web browser, but I find that you are never able to make journal windows wide enough to read it in a way that doesn't feel like you're reading a fucking WhatsApp message that's like 10 miles long.
Fantasy Grounds did.
Oh, it did, yeah. Fantasy Grounds, much better for that and for
Yep.
calendar stuff. But it'll get
I'm
there.
sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
You're saying you can't make journal entries wider?
Hey, let's talk about it outside of session time.
Okay.
shout. It's been about 20 minutes.
So yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything here for us to do.
Not particularly. I mean, we could investigate, but I think that would take up time that I don't think we have. I think we should keep heading back to civilization.
Taken by the mists. I wonder whether she killed herself. I mean, it could be that she was taken by the Berez mists. Could be that she walked into the mists at the edge of this land. Who knows?
I bet I know one guy who knows.
The DM?
No,
Strahd von Serovich. Curse him.
you're goddamn right.
If only we could get a
I
meeting
am the
with him.
danger.
If only we could get a meeting with him and ask him.
And we will carry on heading back north.
Yeah. The raven takes off the second you turn around, swoops low over your shoulder, Halvor, and then rises up in front of you again, circling over the river as you're heading towards it.
And I'm going to bamf Angelo out so we've got some light. I'm going to get into bright light. So we're walking in a wonderful blue hue. And by walking, we're going at a fairly joggy pace.
Yeah, especially with river carrying you in that direction as well.
Exactly. I feel like I'm a travelator.
Less than half an hour later, you are reaching the point where, although you're sort of on the river, out towards the bank, you can see the shore, the ground of the shore sort of firming back up into more foresty. And the river, I would give to you that you have about 500 foot's notice that the river ahead begins to
Waterfalls.
dip quite severely into rapids and waterfalls, and it reaches a point where perhaps you can either start to make some athletics checks and some falling damage if you're unlucky, or you can get onto the ground.
I just surf. Everybody surf. And then when I hit the edge of the river, I surf down the water. Everybody surfing now. I don't. That's not how it works. I will get off the river.
And you find yourselves at the edge of Berez, with the swamp stretching out behind you, and the nice, comfortingly dry looking rarely walked bush path back towards the Svalich Road.
And we level up again just for that bit. And Lindsay doesn't. Because she bottled it.
So yes, the horrendous hex crawl element of this is at an end. Ez sighs heavily and just kind of gives you a single pat on the shoulder and a bit of a squeeze of the shoulder, Bartandalis, and she just sort of shakes her head wearily to herself as you trudge along the path north. And a short time later, you find yourselves at a crossroads on the old Svalich Road.
I imagine we're going to head to Argenvost given that we're carrying a big fucking skull. Yeah. So,
I mean, didn't we enter from the winery? Is it not? Is that genuinely not closer?
No.
No. I was
Fair
also forgetful about that.
Argenvost, if you recall from the Tarocca readings, I think there's mention that Argenvost like looked over Berez or something like that.
Well, it wasn't in the Tarocca, but when you were in the tower where you got the Tarocca item, you looked out in each direction and you could
There was mention previously that Argenvost was higher and looked over Berez, so I always knew that it was going to look over it. So yeah, so that's like just to the slight northwest of Berez, I believe.
In fact, as you were walking the path, like the bush path up, yeah, you would have had cliffs overlooking you with Argenvost on it to your left as you're heading up. So if you were to go right at the crossroads, you would cross a river and head towards Vallaki. If you go left, yeah, you eventually have to turn off to Argenvost. Beyond that, the turn off that you've never taken to the south before, which presumably you're thinking
Lunar River.
No. And this is the Lunar River you're walking up now.
Is that what the Berez is? The Lunar River? Okay.
Yeah. So going left from here... Well, basically, when you reach the crossroads, straight ahead is the little grass path that went to the tower on the lake where you met Ez. Left is the main road from which you have turnings for Argenvost, the Selenka Pass, and then the winery in Yesterhill.
Fuck it, let's go to Selenka Pass.
Oh, you've gone really quiet, Bartholomew.
I said, fuck it, let's go to the Selenka Pass.
Ah, there you are. So you're wanting to go left, are you?
Yes.
Okay. What do you intend your business to be at Argenvost, just for my own benefit?
Returning and laying to rest Sir Arthand, returning the skull and putting that in its appropriate place. Probably check in with our old boys. Give him the old doot.
Yeah.
And that's all I can think of.
And kill Vladimir.
Just from a meta point of view, to save your time, do remember that the mausoleum
is where we need to put the skull. We're not putting it in there because that's a dangerous place.
You're just dropping it off so it's at the building.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll. It made no point to have a separated group and have you go through Argenvost and get there and have me go. It's still locked, like I said.
Yeah. No, I think we'll probably bring the skull to the group. The Council of 6 or 5 now. Bless them. R.I.P.
Well, 4.
4. Oh, is it only 5? Okay.
Well,
whatever.
Vlad's number 6.
Yeah, that's why I said 6. So why are you correcting me then?
Unbelievable. On the council.
But we're not gonna try and return the bones as of yet. I think I presume we would try and complete all the tasks before we do the final bit of that particular, for want of a better word, story arc.
Okay. So.
Oh, we've got to get all that. Should we go and kill a load of spiders? Because we've got to get that cannonball.
So the 3 of you, battered, bloodied, continue along the road to Argenvost. Don't know how this is going to work next week unless Lindsay's just angling for a week off. We will pick up next week with the three of you, that's you and Des, arriving at Argynvost Holt.
Well,
Oh, bear in mind, it is also going to be... You are also travelling down the Svalich Road at night, because you're getting out of here by about 9 at night. You're rejoining the Svalich Road.
is this you saying that something's going to ambush us?
Well, no, it's just me alerting you that it is night time, and you are walking down the Svalich Road.
Sure. So, do you want to role play chatting with? Oh, I suppose I feel like we should.
I would
at
be
least-
happy to do Argynvost Holt an intercession roleplay.
We could do that if we're just going to be doing Sir Artland. That's all we really need to do. If we've got any
Yeah.
questions for the other people, and then finish with us heading to the winery and having our long rest, night sleep there, and then Cora meets us in the morning.
That would seem like a good idea for getting stuff back together. I know Lindsay doesn't really use Discord outside of this, but I will create an intercession roleplay channel in there, just so that you can both.
'Cause she's
use
gonna-
that.
She's going to do
She's
her
not there
chatty bit, isn't she? So
Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have Discord on her phone, so there's zero chance that she's ever going to look at Discord.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, what you're about to do is just between the two of you, isn't it? Because she's not there for this part. That's why I said before I'd WhatsApp her about the other stuff if you wanted to. Otherwise, it'll happen when you're both there as well, so information isn't lost.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of hoping that Yenny opens the gate, comes through with Laura, and we all get to have a chat with her. Because I'm like, okay, so here's the things that wasn't asked. Number one, this whole fucking Yesterhill tree. Can you help us out? Because there's not going to be any of that. And there's going to be a lot of talk about scarves, and that's where it's going to be. I'm sure Halvor will be intercepting WhatsApps and going, no, Lindsay, you need to ask this in your section.
Okay.
Cool.
So I've
Yeah.
made the intercession roleplay channel. We can pick that up with you just arriving at Argynvost Holt, so like for $10 stabs of Vladimir. But
Nice.
otherwise, a talky, but a good session, a loot-filled session, but you don't know what any of it is yet.
I don't. I'll forget to. I've still not attuned to my gloves, and for some reason I've still got the eyes of charming in my bag when they should be with your man there.
Does Halvor have the eyes of Charmin now, does he?
He does, yeah. He's going to look all sophisticated with them.
Let me move it over
Yep.
then. Oh. Dragging from one to another doesn't remove from the person it came from? How utterly foolish. I have deleted them. from
I
our
saw it
handle list then.
disappear. Did you?
They look hilarious.
So I've got.
The only one I've
Wine
actually,
Whisperer.
the only one I've placed in your inventory currently, because it's the winery gem. I can give you actually. The other stuff that needs identifying doesn't have its own items yet. I can certainly give you the gemstones, which I will tell you now because of their nice.
Tell me.
Value.
Nobody else was there. Nobody else was there. Tell me on my own.
Just the value of them.
Yeah, privately. Tell me privately.
I'm going to tell everyone. It's not
That's
back on Cantain.
Oh man!
5 gems worth a total of 2,500 gold.
Let's go and buy that shield, Halvor. Build draft.
Okay.
Build draft.
Price has gone up.
He's gonna get murdered.
He's gonna run himself out of business. No one's fucking buying anything.
No. Prick.
Looks like everything else. Yeah, you'd need to identify the spell scrolls, wouldn't you, as well? So everything else would need identifying. But only you'd spent time identifying stuff when you were sat chatting. I think I would have interrupted
I
you.
can't.
Short-
I
yeah,
can't do
short
that during a
rest.
short rest, prick. Don't be fucking coming.
Oh,
You missed your chance, and then
chose
reminding
HP over
I'm reminding
knowledge.
you of things that you should have done at the end of the session. It's actually that you find I couldn't do them, dickhead. I had to spend time recovering 8 hit points.
Fine. No roleplay next time.
I know.
Only
This guy.
mechanics.
It's taken us 2 years to get to actually having campfire roleplay.
I know. Good stuff.
We just needed Lindsay to not be.
We just needed the dance and lights module finally installed for campfire flickering.
I know. It felt like a very poignant, worthwhile moment.
It did. I was just waiting for betrayal from one of you.
Oh, it's coming. What?
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
A good session. Any
It was a
parting
good
words
session.
from either of you before I click end stream?
Don't forget, guys, come on down and visit the Mad Cartographer on Patreon.
What's my link, Halvor?
Patreon.com/The Mad Cartographer.
You can also find it just by Google imaging Lemon Party.
You can also find my image at thetrove.net.
Right. Catch you later, viewers.
Bye, viewers. Viewer.